What is good, homies? It is your boy Franz, and welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the Call of Duty League times Prize Picks action. I am beyond excited to get into the season. We've been waiting, I think, 5 months, and now we are only 2 days out. I'm so excited to just grind out these player props with you guys. Look for trends, look for players performing and underperforming. You know what we do here, all to make that cash. A little update for you guys in the life department. I am going to be graduating December 16th. Finally done with school. I do apologize. The past 5 or 6 months has just been schoolwork. Schoolwork has kind of been my schedule recently. So I haven't been able to get out as much content for you guys as I wanted to. Kind of just taking a break these past few months and just focused on myself, even though that's a little corny. Focus on getting school done, but we are finally back here with some prize picks, and then we're gonna be trying to get the Twitch streams back up, posting some TikToks, just grinding out that content again as we love to do. And we'll be looking for a new job here at the same time during this kind of like 6 month spring season that we're about to head into. So jumping into this season, there is a lot to unpack. There has been a lot of rule changes, a lot of schedule changes with the CDL. There is a lot of change, and so to be a good prize picks better, if you will, you're gonna want to know a couple of these new updates. So if you haven't been following anything CDL related, I'm here to give you a couple updates, a couple rule set changes that might affect your betting here this season. Starting out, we're gonna go through the rosters very quickly. Obviously, the main talking point was that LA Thieves, the ex world champions, completely exploded their roster, and also the Seattle Surge, a championship winning team, they exploded their roster, and all these players kind of dispersed. So you have Draza here. I'll pull up my camera so you can see that real quick. You have Draza there with the BZ, Celium, and Simp. The Tiny Terrors pick up probably the best AR on the LA Thieves team in Draza, so he ends up going to FaZe. Subliners pick up an AR in Sib coming from Seattle. Rocker is a completely new team. Accuracy, kind of that leadership player with a rookie in Lens, and then two Slay heavy players in Awakening and Vivid. Royal Ravens, Carolina Royal Ravens, no longer London. They moved to the Carolinas, and they make up Clayster with a bunch of rookies. Besides kind of GodRx, you could put an asterisk there, as he has been around the scene for quite some time. Boston Breach is a completely new roster. Obviously, Snoopy returning. He played at Champs, but that was it. They make up Priesta and Slasher coming from FaZe and New York respectively, and then Capsule coming from that old Florida Mutineers team. LA Thieves, completely new team. You got the old rocker guys. You have Ghosty coming from Optic, who had his rookie gear on Optic, and then Joe Deceives coming from LAG. Optic, obviously the core, and Dashy and Shotzi stay together. They bring in Pred from Seattle Surge, and then Kenny is that star leadership player coming from LA Thieves. LA Gorillas, completely new roster basically with the return of Assault. This is kind of a friendship spot, if you will, kind of a bunch of new players, a lot coming from the challenger scene, and I don't have a lot of faith in this team, honestly, but there they are. They kind of gypped Asim, who I thought was gonna be on this team, out of his roster, and then the coach came in and just put together some random team. Seattle Surge, Abuza is kind of the star player from the challenger scene. They rounded out with Arcides, who was the main guy on LAG, had a very lackluster performance that year, and then Ilian Hoog coming from the old Optic team. Toronto Ultra is a very good team. They upgrade Hixie with Envoy, probably the best submachine gun from the LA Thieves team. Very scary lineup in Toronto Ultra. And then the Miami Heretics, obviously the newest team in the CDL. They bought out the Miami or the Florida Mutineer spot. This is now the Miami Heretics, bringing in an entirely Spanish roster. You love to see the Spaniards getting a shot. And then Vegas Legion, obviously you have Attach going into this new leadership role. He rounds it out with a returning sub and Standy, pairing it with Nero, and then a challenger player in Purge. Very, very interesting rosters. I do think the roster building this year was really good. I do think these rosters were built pretty strongly. The only one I have no faith in is this Gorillas team, but that's kind of the trend in recent years is you just don't have faith in the Gorillas because they're just not putting forth effort, unfortunately. So moving on from there, this is the schedule. Obviously, guys, you're seeing a lot more matches than we have seen in the past. The reason for this is there are seven matches per season. But with that, there are only 4 seasons. So instead of being 5 seasons, there are only 4 seasons, but we'll get 2 more matches per season. So a bit of a trade-off there, unfortunately, and then plus champs, obviously, at the end. So that is a total of 5 LAN tournaments. This is, I think, the lowest amount of tournaments we've had in the CDL. I think the past years have been 6 and 7. So unfortunate there, but that's just the way it is. A couple updates on the player side of things. The first one being that GAs, snaking is one of the biggest GAs in the league right now, and I think it's going to be GA'd. I know the league has been talking about it. Activision has made some moves to make the snaking less prominent in the game, so you might see it a little bit here and there, but it will be a lot more dialed down than it was last year. That was a huge complaint among the audience that they hated just watching snaking every map, and I do agree. The strategy we're going to use for these prop picks is go for 3-man plays, and all of them are going to be flex plays. The reason for this is we don't have stats yet, and I can't build a full 6-man prop play like I'm used to when I don't have any statistics to build off of because I'm not as confident as I would have been if I do have stats. So for these first, few weeks as we're, building up the stat sheet, looking for trends, finding players that are playing well and not playing well, we're going to just go for some more safer bets. These 3-man prop plays are going to give you a bunch of options to go for, and you can even build a 6-man with it. I definitely could be right on some of these, but for the most part, we're only going to go for 2 out of 3 to get right so that we can get some money back while still being lenient with our picks. So let's get into it here, guys, starting off with Draza. Not on map 2 kills, but on map 1 kills. And we're going to take the more here. The reason being is this guy's kind of that in-your-face AR for this team. This is the reason FaZe recruited this player is because he does play this style of gameplay. He really is aggressive with this AR, and that's exactly what we need for this FaZe team to play well. They had 2 players like Celium and Slasher and Celium last year who kind of just sat in the back of the map and just held positions. You need an AR like Draza who's in your face, getting kills to really spread out the map positively and to yield points on the hard point or control. So obviously map 1 kills, we're gonna go the more for Draza. Moving on from there, guys, we're gonna take Illy here in an S&D pick on the more. The reason we're going more for Illy here is if you've seen any of the preseason tournaments, this guy has been in the finals of I think every single S&D tournament I've watched. I mean, you'll see an S&D tournament and then you'll watch till the very end. It's like 2 a.m. Grand finals is on. Illy is there, and oftentimes he's with his homie Hook. So I do love this Illy Hook dynamic in the S&Ds. I'm going to go with Illy for this one because I do think he has been playing phenomenally well. His thumb has completely healed, is at least what he said on Twitter. So I do expect Illy to play very well here in this opening S&D against the LA Thieves. Excuse me. To round out this final pick, we're going to take Mr. Joe Deceives. Joe Deceives is a very interesting pick here. However, in the Twitch streams that I've seen, he has been playing phenomenally well for this LA Thieves lineup. He completely has changed around his gameplay since playing on the LA Gorillas. Now with the Thieves, he is playing better than ever. I do expect Joe Deceives to pop off here. However, this is kind of one of those where you could go under and it could definitely well hit. It's just like, how well does he end up playing when the time comes? It's either going to be like he has 30 kills or probably like 15. It's going to be one or the other for Joe. I have belief in Joe here, especially in the response against a weaker Seattle Surge team. They have been playing kind of abysmal in respawns. At least that's what I've heard from videos in Twitch streams. So we are going to go for Joe Deceives on the more, and then we are going to turn this into a good old flex play right down here. Boom, bada boom. So we will only yield 2250 back if we end up hitting, but I'm okay with that because we're just going to try to play as safe as possible for these first few plays. You know, get a rhythm here. I'm not going to try to put in a ton of money yet. Just three $10 plays, throw in some good choices here. Nothing too risky yet. Nothing too risky until we get to those 6-man plays, and we're really going for it. So here's the first 3-man prop with Draws, Illy, and Joe Deceives. I'll place that entry right now. Thank you very much. Now we're going to build our second entry of the matches on Friday. Gosh, dude, I'm so excited to get into these matches, man. So excited to start watching COD. All right, second prop. Here we go. We're going to start it off with our boy Pred. Pred is the newest Slayer for this team. I do expect him to have a breakout performance here in the opening hardpoint. That is why we're going to go for the more on map 1 kills for Pred. And with that, we're going to pair it with under for Kismet on map 1 kills. Kismet, although he's a great player, phenomenal S&D star, I do expect his numbers to be a little bit lower in some of these hard points. That is commonly how his player or how he has played in his career, is he does like to play positions over getting kills, as Kismet is, you know, just that objective guy for this New York team, even though he is a submachine gun player. I guess him and Skies are usually those objective players. I think 23.5 is an extremely high line for him here in an opening hard point against Optic. That's why we're going to go the under for Kismet. Final player we are going to pair with this Kismet and Pred choice is Mr. Ghosty himself, and I'm going to go for map 1 to 3 kills for Ghosty. Ghosty, in interviews, has said that he has gotten to play his style of COD. I know last year he was kind of like known as the Hill Kitten for Optic, as he was constantly just picking up hill time, playing the objective as much as possible. But for this LA Thieves team, he said he is more in his comfort zone as he's playing more of a Slayer role for this team. So I do think this 48.5 is quite a low line for map 1 to 3 kills. So that is why we are going to go for the map 1 to 3 kills on the more, and we are only going to do another good old flex play. All of them are flexes, just playing as safe as possible. Nothing too risky here early on. I mean, you guys can go for a 6-man if you want, if that's the strategy, if you want to send it all for this very first day. However, I would suggest just going light, man. We got a lot of Call of Duty to play ahead of us. These first few weeks, we really just got to build out a stat sheet, really learn who is playing well in this game and who isn't, especially when seasons start. A lot can change. So that is why we are going for less risk and kind of low reward, but it is some reward, and we will take that. Place entry there. Pred, Kiz, Ghosty. That one is good. Let's move on to our final pick here. The last one we are going to go for is Cammy on a map 1 kills. Cammy on the under. I do believe Ghosty is the main AR Slayer for this team. I do expect Cammy to kind of have a lackluster performance as he has had the past couple seasons. Cammy has not played up to that Toronto level of play ever since he left the team. Honestly, he just hasn't been able to find it, and I do feel for Cammy here, but we are going to go for an under and just really just go off of his last season stats on this one, as Cammy hasn't been playing well, and I'm hoping that trend will follow. Next player we're going to go for actually is going to be map 1 to 3 kills for Dashy. I do see this line at 47.5, and I think that is aggressively low for AR talent like Dashy, one of the best shots in the game. I do expect him to completely beat this 47.5. If I'm wrong, I will be very surprised on this one, but I do think Dashy will lock in this 47.5. This game suits him extremely well. He's been shooting very, very nicely. I have been watching a lot of Dashy streams, and I do expect him to play very solid here. And then following this Dashy pick, I'm going to go to a map 2 kills. We're going to take Hydra here on map 2. He is the S&D superstar for this team, constantly in your face, constantly getting kills, and so an easy $10 for this one as well will be our third pick to round out the 3 props. Let's place entry there, our last $10 in the bank, and that should do it for the picks. Let me go to my entry so you can really absorb these 3 picks for the very first day of COD. Starting out, we have Draza on the Moor in map 1 kills, Illy on the Moor in map 2 kills, and then Joe Deceives on the Moor in map 1 kills. Risky Moors, but we're taking them. Next up, we have Pred, Kiz, and Ghosty. More, less, more. More map 1 kills for Pred, less map 1 kills for Kiz, and then more for Ghosty on the map 1 to 3 kills. And then finally, rounding out the final pick, we have Cammy on the under in map 1 kills, Dashy on the over in map 1 to 3 kills, and then Hydra on the over on map 2 kills. These are our 3 player props for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I do apologize if it was a little bit longer than normal. I'm gonna try to cut these down to at least 10 minutes or less, but I do think it was important to get that information out for you guys. If you are going to be betting this whole year and you don't know a lot about the CDL, or you're not really following as much, I hope this video did help with that knowledge, help you guys get accustomed to what this season is going to bring. It's going to be a really great season. I am expecting a lot of close matches, hopefully, this season, because there are a lot of phenomenal teams. I think these teams were built very well. However, there is, I think, a distinct top 4. I think Toronto, Optic, New York, and FaZe all round out that top 4. And I think there will end up being some divide between that top 4 and the rest of the pack. However, I am still excited to get into the season. Hopefully, there are a lot of upsets, a lot of storylines being built this season, and I'm really excited to get into it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this video. Thank you so much for joining us back on the YouTube channel. I know it's been quite a while since I've been here, so I'm really excited if you did end up coming back or watch, bits and pieces of this video. I know it's hard to watch a full 20 or 15-minute video. I am thankful for the time that you did spend on the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the props. I'll scroll down here a little bit to see, so you guys can see them one last time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next PrizePicks player prop. Expect a lot of videos from me, a lot more content coming out, and I will see you guys on the next one. Appreciate you. Peace.